Hello, everybody. Time again. Time to go to work. Welcome, everybody. Morning. Oh, well, actually, Monday afternoon. 1:20, and it's 84 degrees outside. It's been kind of bad. Heat isn't here yet, but it's going to get here. After June for sure. Alrighty. How's it going? Who's in here? Hey, Live Feedings. What's up? Welcome. Righty. Righty. Welcome. Hopefully, throw out an old refrigerator. Man, that is or freezer. Yep. Yep. Right. Well, the avocado guy's there. He's there today. Avocado, blood oranges, tangerines. Avocados 20 for $5. Yummy. Finish my avocados. Road work up ahead. Oh shit. Going around. Let's see what's up ahead here. Let's see what they're working on. They're patching the holes in the road. I see. Well, it's about time they did. Yeah. Picking up a lot of little pieces of tar coming up from the road. These vehicles went over, they basically just patched it and let the cars flatten it out. Talk about being cheap. Yeah, looks like we got corn growing here. Yeah, things are getting real tall. Yeah, I think they're at least 5 feet high now. Yep. And then we got, looks like wheat on the other side. Bunch of wheat growing. was here, it's gone. Yeah, we transport a lot to Japan and China. Hay to other foreign countries that can't grow hay. Here we grow a lot of hay. They process it, compress it as much as possible to send as much over in containers so it'll fit, in the container. Looks like they picked up all the onions already. These fields. They're still haven't done the other ones. Still a field of white there. Yep. Yes, they're transporting three trailers. Stacking them boys up. Yeah, I checked yesterday and the tarantula still hasn't opened up its doors, so we'll see. Today's the 9th. I count 2 months on the 20th of this month. So we might get some action maybe by the 20th. The 20th of this month. But we'll see. Hopefully we have good news and we got babies coming out. I mean, that would be amazing. I mean, I haven't witnessed that. I mean, I've seen it in videos when people have them at home, but seeing it out in the wild, would be great. Get video of that. Well, here's the part that's bad here with the internet. We'll see how it goes today. Yeah, it kind of goes in and out here in this area. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Everybody, check out my channel list. Check out my friends and family. If you want to grow your channel, go check out James Guide. Go check out AAP. Go check out My Animal House, Iron Dog. They also help grow, the channels. There's a bunch of other grow channels there that I have. Go check them out. There's Venus Rodriguez. There's a bunch of other channels. Go check them out. Excuse me. Yeah, so I got a lot of channels there. Reptiles, food channels, fishing channels, magnet fishing channels, blogger. There's also like those Hot Wheels channel. Check out my community tab. I have a list of a bunch of channels there that I've been promoting. When they go live, go check them out. Keys Constrictors, Spider Mom, Mark the Spider Guy, Scott's I think it's Scott's Inverts. Kelly Cogwell. Check out a bunch of the channels on my list. Well, it looks like we finally passed that part there. I don't know what's going on with my phone, if it's the phone or the car, but it's been like when you connect with the Bluetooth, for some reason it's like, but it might be the car because the funny thing is, I mean, I connected to the one at work and it has no problem connecting there. In fact, even after I turn it off, it stays connected, which is odd. Because usually when you turn it off, it like disconnects. When it's connected to the phone. But for some reason, I don't know why, it wasn't doing that. I mean, cars don't have the best Bluetooth that they could find. Because I don't have problems connecting at home, the Wi-Fi either, or anything like that. So I don't know what's going on. But shit gets old. It's a 2017 car. Yeah, we'll see how people are driving today. Yeah, the other day people were driving like crazy. I don't know. What school they went to, for driving. But, they forget how to drive. They're flying. Like this car, he's flying. But there's a bunch of cars. What the heck? A bunch of cars going in and out. What the heck's going on here? Yeah, we got a truck here. See what's it carrying here. That's sugar beet. They process it and make sugar out of it. A lot of your sugars out there are made out of that. People think that's made out of sugar, like cane, sugar cane, and that's not. Maybe in Hawaii, but here in the U.S. you have a lot of sugar beet. But yeah, so weather's not too bad today, 86. It's probably going to be below 90s today with the way the wind is. So I guess we did get a little break in the weather. It's not too bad. Welcome everybody. Make sure you hit the like button. Say hello to everybody in the chat. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Yeah, so went to put gas today. Gas is up to $5.29 and $5.30. It was up to $5.35 already. Then it went down to $5. Now it's back up to $5.30. And then pretty soon, watch summertime. Once everybody's out of school in June, gas is going to climb up again. Everybody's going to be traveling. Going to want to make money off of us. I mean, I won't be traveling. Can't afford it. Got to pay off that air conditioning. Still owe my son like $4,000. This week I should be able to give him another $1,000, and then I'll just need 3 more payments. It'll be June, July. By August I'll finish paying them. And then pretty much the big expenses are kind of paid. Then next year I'll pay this car off. Hopefully it keeps running. Got to keep the maintenance on it. You know, make sure it's running good, especially here in the desert. Everything wore out faster. You know, the heat just wears everything up. Don't have to do the serpentine belt. I just did it when I did the AC. So that should be good. The only thing I got to do on this thing would be maybe the radiator hoses, because I mean they are from 2017. You know, so they are getting old. But yeah, yesterday when I was coming home, it was real windy. Eyes were like, with the wind, their trailers were kind of leaning. It's kind of scary, you're driving next to a trailer especially when it's any big gust of wind could actually just flip the thing over right on top of you. I mean, I've seen trucks like on the road. One time I was way behind one, and the wind would catch it, and it would almost like kind of almost flip over. It was pretty dangerous looking. Luckily, the wind was going away, so I could actually probably pass it without worrying about it, because it would have fell over the opposite way. But no, last night when I was coming home, it was like the wind was blowing toward me. I was in the fast lane, he was in the slow lane, and boy, that thing was blowing like crazy. Sometimes we get some wind up here that, gusts above 50 miles per hour. That's when the trucks start really getting dangerous. Even RVs, man, they'll flip over. One time I was coming from San Diego, and that's what happened. The RV just flipped over on its side. We had to go off the off ramp, come back on the other side, because luckily it was on an area where there was a bridge. Flipped over on the bridge part. So, yeah, this is guy. But he was gonna try to go for it all across the freeway. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have a bunch of dogs when I used to live with my grandma. She had a bunch of dogs. She had a bulldog. It was part bulldog and Pekingese. The front of it was a bulldog. The tail was like Pekingese. Had like the corkscrew tail. And it was an old dog, but it still had babies. It gave us a couple of babies. In fact, it messed around with a German Shepherd. We ended up having to take him to the vet, have them do a cesarean on it and get the dog out, because that thing was so big. I mean, it was almost half the size of her. So, we gotta. But she survived and lived for a pretty long time. You know, yeah, it was pretty good. We had other dogs. I had a German Shepherd. It was a baby. It was like only like was like a couple months old, and it was like, oh my god, it was terrible. We ended up having to give that one away because it was tearing up the yard, tearing up everything. We had like a wooden chair outside, and it like turned it into toothpicks. We left it at the house. Went out for a day, came back that same day, and man, he just destroyed the chair. And then he would pull down the clothes from the laundry, the from the that was hanging. And the funny thing is, he wouldn't touch my clothes, but he would touch everybody else's. He knew who the boss was, I guess. So then I put a thing on the ground, where you screw it into the ground, and then you put the chain on there, and then, put it on the dog so he can't go anywhere. And he's all, oh, he was crying. It's like, hey, you don't behave. And my grandma's all like, oh, poor little dog. Well, I go, you let him go, he's gonna destroy the place. Yeah, she let him go. I mean, we even tried putting him because we had two houses, one in the back, and we had a fence around both houses, but the fence in the back, I mean, there was no fence from one house to the other, so we had an old like a box spring, so we put that on one side of the house to block him from coming to the front house. And then on the other side, I built like some, almost like a door, like a gate. It was at least 5 feet high. And I was like, what the heck? He got out. And he was on the front. I'm like, how the hell did he? So I would put him back there again. I didn't see where he could sneak around or, through there, anything. Oh man, this dog, he was just flying over it. He would just take a running jump and boom, 5 feet over the fence. So I'm like, oh man, I mean, and then he would like, when we'd feed the dogs, he'd be coming running and knock over the food out of the plate all over the floor, and he'd still he's like a vacuum, man. He would like pick it all up off the dirt. I mean, this dog was like crazy. So yeah, so we just ended up having to give it to somebody that wanted it, that had a bigger yard. And then we got another dog. My grandma gave me another dog. This dog, his name was Sam. It was a German short-haired pointer. And it was about 6 months old, and it was pretty big. It was a nice dog. It was a light brown with a white chest. Had like a Superman shield-looking chest, but it was all white. And his name was Sam. And he was very active because he was a hunting dog. So the good thing I had up where we used to live there, we had a baseball field and tennis courts and a big park in the front, right across the street from us. So I used to go across the fence, and then and then he would run like crazy, man. He would like take off running like really fast, like and then he'd come back and he would like, I could play fetch with him there. He had a lot of area to run. It was one of those long, he liked like a big area to run. Then, I got that one from the pound. They gave it his shots and everything, and, we adopted it. But then, I had it for another year. And then I graduated from high school, and then I was going away from school, to an automotive school in Arizona, in Glendale. And then my mom and my grandma, they ended up having to sell the houses, the two houses that they had, and then they ended up moving into an apartment. But then that means they couldn't have any dogs or any pets, in the apartments that they were moving into. So they ended up having to, you know, take the dog back to the pound. But you know, it was a nice dog. That dog, I don't think it would have lasted very long in the pound because it was a very well behaved dog. I remember my sister, you know, when we used to feed it. I mean, she used to go over there, and I even looked at a book from that kind of a breed of animals, and they say they're very good to children. They don't bite children. You know, they handle more like say, you know, yeah, like your kid start, you know, like pulling on its ears or you know while it's eating or you know bother it when it's eating, and it never bit him. You know, it never bites him, and it never growled. Because my sister would always bug him. He's always eating, and then she'd always be going over there, oh Sam, and be messing with him. But the funny thing is, you know, she would talk to the neighbor next door through the fence, and you know, the dog, you know, they don't forget. You know, they forgive, but they don't forget. So you know, Sam, it was funny because you know, I guess he got back at my sister, but she was only like 4 years old at the time. You know, and and she's over there talking to the friend. You know, kind of like sitting in a squat position. So Sam goes over to her and kind of like behind her, and then he lifts his leg and he pisses all over her back. Oh my god, I was cracking up. I'm like, oh my god. So she ended up having to take a shower. But you know, he I guess he got back at her for like. In fact, one time she was playing with a hammer. She got a hammer and she like hit him in the head. You know, not like real hard, but like boom. It was a toy hammer, but still, the dog like oh. I was like, oh, I go no. I told my sister, don't you dare do that anymore. Don't be hurting the dog. But I guess he got back at her. You know, took a piss on her. Nah, but he never did that again. I mean, that was the only one time. I guess she got the message. Marked his territory. But, you know. And then my sister, I remember my mom, she had some nice couches that were made out of material, but then they got all old, so she sent them to get upholstered, you know. And back in the day, everybody did vinyl upholstery, you know, because that way if you spilled something, it wasn't going to stain it. You know, you could clean it with chemicals, and nothing was going to happen, you know, to the vinyl couches. So she had a one that was a seat, and then she had a big couch, and then a love seat, I believe. So then my mom, you know, she had a kitchen table, you know, like a dinette, and then we had the living room. Well, it wasn't. We had the living, you know, the living room was where the couches were, and then we had the dining room where my mom had a big, you know, table with chairs, you know, wooden table, and then she had some decorations, you know, in the middle of the table, you know, and she had like a cheese set where it had like a thing for spreading like butter, and then like if you had like cream cheese or regular cheese, so it had like a knife with like a fork at the end. So one day my sister decided to borrow my mom's thing on the table, and she was busy doing something, and we're in the room, and so she's sitting on one of the big couches, you know, after they brought them back, you know, and it hadn't been more than like less than a month that we got the couches back. So my sister, she grabs that knife. It was a cheese knife. I don't know if you ever seen a cheese knife where the end is kind of like forked, so you can cut the cheese and then you can eat it pretty much. You know, you cut a little slice and you poke it, eat it. It's kind of like two tools, you know, a fork and a knife in one. And so she cut it. She sat there on the arm where the armrest is, and she cut it. She cut it open. You know, she like, oh man, she like sliced it, did a bunch of cuts into it. And my mom come around from the kitchen, and she's like, oh my God. She goes, what are you doing? You know, took away the knife. Good thing she didn't cut herself. And that's the last time we had that thing on the table. And then she, spanked her, but we always spank them on the butt, there was no torturing back then, they use the belt or their hand. But, yeah, it was like, it was kind of funny because, she would always, protect them. So then, she always did, like crocheting and stuff, like these little doilies that go on tables and stuff like that with flowers and stuff. So she ended up making a doily and ended up putting a doily where all the cuts were, so you couldn't see it, But yeah, it was like, oh man, I was like, that's it for the couches. And then my aunt used to come and take care of my sister and stuff. And, she was pretty smart, And then she started going to kindergarten, and she could speak English and Spanish. So she would translate for the teacher, in the kindergarten class. For the other kids that didn't speak any English, she would translate. So that's why I guess she became a teacher, So she's a vice principal now. But she's been a teacher for, oh my God, I think for over 20 something years. So she's been a teacher for a long time. Because she's 46. So yeah, I mean she graduated from high school, then she went to college and then university. So 25. Yeah, I mean, I would think she's over 25 years of being a teacher, And then the thing was, she got a job at the school where she was a student there. It was elementary school. So they wanted her. In fact, they offered her the job. Recently, they offered her the job for principal. But then she barely had her second child, and she's like, you know what, I want to spend time with my kid. Plus, it did, principals don't make that much more money than a vice principal. Plus they're more of a salary, and they do more hours. They got to go to school, less vacation, and more work at the end, So she just decided, no, I'll just stick with, because she said if she wanted to make extra money, she could always, tutor kids, and she does. She makes more money that way. Less of the responsibility, because it's just sometimes it's more of a headache than anything. Now, if you want to go into like superintendent and stuff like that, then that's much more money. But yeah, I mean, so she became a school teacher and then now vice principal. But yeah, and then she helped. She sent me a stuff when my smallest son, my younger son, was gonna start school. She goes, yeah, well, these are the words that they need to learn by first grade. So by kindergarten, he already learned all the words and stuff. Because I mean, nowadays, back in the day when I went to school, I'm 61. Back in the 60s, man, all you did in kindergarten was sleep, eat cookies, drink. You learned your ABCs, your numbers. You probably learned your numbers, from 1 to 100. Learned your ABCs, and that was pretty much it. I mean, you started learning words in first grade, and then you started, learning how to read. I guess that's why I'm not as good at reading, because if they would start, now they start you off. By the time you're in first grade, you already don't need to learn how to read. So when you're in kindergarten, you should already start reading, you know. And the good thing was my son had very good memory, so he learned how to read real quick. That's why when he was in fourth grade, I mean he had like high school level reading, and the teacher tested his how fast he could read, and he could read real fast. You know, I mean he was even faster. He could read faster than the teacher even, which I guess it helps because when you go into college and university, there's a lot of reading, math, English, everything, history, a lot of reading. So you know, so there's always that good thing to teach your children, to read and make sure that they are reading because I mean I found out my kid, one of my oldest son, wasn't reading, and he would act like he was reading, because they would always tell you, oh, let him read 30 minutes or 10 pages. And he would read them. And then I go, okay, well, so I would get the book and I go, okay, what did you read? Tell me exactly what you read, those 10 pages. And he couldn't tell me because, he was just, repeating the words and the lines, but he wasn't comprehending, so that's the thing, he needs to learn, they need to learn how to comprehend. And a lot of it has to do that if the book is boring, they're not gonna pay attention to it. They're not gonna get into it. So find books that your kid likes to read. Any kind of novels. No matter what it is. If it's a cow. Like westerns. My son was into like vampires and werewolves and monsters, stuff like that. So I got him them kind of books. I mean, people, oh my God, the blood, the gore. It's like kids. I mean, you're giving your kids a phone. You don't think they watch all this crap on their phones? I mean, and then people, you get that parent, you get that one parent, like one of the guards, I asked him, I go, did you look, you see that what your kids are watching? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, we always check my wife because he's not that good at that kind of stuff. He goes, that technology stuff. My wife, she's the one that checks him. He goes, she looks at his history, what he watches. I'm like, Jesus, like kids aren't smart. Like they're not going to delete the history, of what they want, what they don't want to. You can go back and delete all kinds of videos that you don't want nobody to see that you watched. I mean, people are stupid. They think their kids are safe watching the internet and YouTube. It's like it's a small computer, just like at home. You got to keep an eye on your kids, everybody. Your kids are not safe. That's why kids are getting abused. Kids are getting stolen because they're telling them, go meet me at the corner, go meet me at the mall. We never let our kids go to the mall. It was always, oh, can we go to the mall? No, I'm not gonna let you go. You want to go? Well, I'll take you. But the thing is, kids go to the mall, and what happens? They go meet their boyfriend, and they go into the bathrooms. Because now they have these bathrooms where both male and female can go in. You know, because they're called family bathrooms. Yeah, family bathrooms. But that's the thing. Family's supposed to go in there with their kids to keep an eye on them. I could never understand why a parent will allow their kids to go into a restroom at the park, anywhere. I mean, I mean, you've heard some of the crazy things that have happened. A kid goes into a bathroom, somebody rapes them in there, or even kills them. Cuts their throat, abuse them, or whatever, and then the parent goes in there and finds them dead. I mean, it's hard, but that's reality. The world is not safe. You know, and we don't protect our kids. We let other people take care of our kids. Babysitters. How do you know? How do you know the babysitter isn't abusing your child? You know, or where you're taking them, the other kids are abusing them. You know, I mean, I remember when I went to go visit some lady that she used to take care of kids. You know, and she used to take care of a lot of kids. And she was a church lady, and she did her. And I used to tell her, how do you do it? Well, when they start crying, you pick one up. And then you quiet them down, grab the next one and the next one. But then I saw that one kid, was like right next to another kid, but the other kid was like in a car seat kind of. But his feet, could easily kick the other kid. And, the other kid was like moving his leg, kicking the other kid, not being on purpose, but still, stuff like that, happens, Get one of those as they say, those cameras that keep an eye on your babysitter, because you need to see what's going on in your house while the babysitter is taking care of your babies. You don't know, and they're like, oh, the babysitter is they did a background check. Yeah, that just means they've never been caught. All these background checks, all they do is check to see if you have if you ever did a crime, if you ever got caught doing a crime. That's what people don't understand. People that abuse kids and get away with it for years, they never get caught. And people are like, oh, you see little league coaches abusing kids, Just because it's a male doesn't mean they don't abuse male kids. Come on. You gotta talk to your kids. Look at the little league, the Cub Scouts. How many years they've been abusing kids? The priests. How many years it took for them to finally, they took them to court, and then because they were hiding them. The churches were hiding the priests what would they do? Oh, all of a sudden, they would move them. It's like, oh, that priest is no longer in this parish. He was moved, but they don't tell you why. They were hiding it, and kids were getting abused. Camping trips, when they go to school camping trips, or trips. You gotta watch it. Other kids, they'll abuse the other kids. You gotta watch it. Gotta take care of kids, people. Nowadays, like they say, you don't even talk to your kids. They're at home, and you're talking to them on the phone. What is this with texting and texting? My older kid's the same way. He was always, oh, Dad, you need to get this. You need to get WhatsApp. I still don't have it. I have IG now, but the only reason I got IG was because I won a prize from, My Animal House with Justin and Trish. But I mean, that's the only reason I got it, because I won the prize, and you need to send them the address on IG or Facebook. I don't even use Facebook. I had Facebook also, but I don't even use it. I don't even have anything on there. I don't even look at it. I just got it because I had a game I used to play, and it would give you points, and it would, to advance in the game. So that's the only reason I got that also. But then my older son is all like, you need to get WhatsApp, because so that way we can communicate and this and that. And it's like, that way if we need to talk, I go, if we need to talk, I'll just call you on your phone. But it's much easier because sometimes I can't answer my phone. Well, I'll leave a message. Whenever you get a chance, if you don't think it's important, you call me back. If you want to get a hold of me, leave me a message. I always usually answer my phone no matter where I'm at. I never have it on vibrate. If I'm at work, I answer my phone. But see, that's the thing. Kids, they don't communicate no more. They don't have then what happens when they go to the real world and they have to communicate, they have to speak to somebody when they do an interview. That's the thing. They do teach you that in some colleges where it called, talks communication class because they even need it more nowadays than before. Before we used to communicate, everything was applications, even writing. Kids don't know how to write anymore. Why? Because everything, all the homework is done on computers, and you do it with pen, no more pencils. You know, and everything is all computerized. You know, my son, my youngest son right now, he's finishing his bachelor. Oh, he has his Spanish. He has a Spanish class, and everything's on the internet. You don't even have to go to school. I mean, it's gotten to that point. But it's always been headed that way. Technology is it ruined a lot of things. Look at Toys R Us. Toys R Us is no longer. They closed it. I heard now they opened up. Somebody told me they opened up at the mall. They have a Toys R Us. I haven't been to the mall. Ever since all this crap, I've been to the mall maybe a couple of times because I had to get glasses or needed something. But it's like what don't people stop communications now. They don't communicate. They forget how to communicate. Because they have texting now. Always texting. You know. See who's in here. Let's see who's in here. Let's see. It was live feedings, Bud, A&M, Anna, my Animal House. What's up? What's up? Hey, Justin, Mark. Hey, what's up, Joan? Johan, you finally made it, huh? All right. How's it going? Hey, Gary, what's up? What's up? Hey, Mark from A&M. Hey, Venus Martinez. Yes, that's another channel. Go check her out. She'll help you grow. She speaks Spanish, English, and who knows what other languages. She's from Canada, everybody. Sonia's Kitchen. Sonia. What's up? Hey, Blue. What's up? Yes, welcome. Yes, thank you for coming. Welcome, Outbanks. What's up? Welcome, Marie. Hey, Mark. What's up? Yeah, no problem, Mark. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Michael Hauser. Welcome. What's up, everybody? Yeah, thanks everybody for coming in. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you have to talk to your kids, everybody. Anybody that has kids, kids are growing up and nobody takes care of them. A lot of people found out, during this thing that happened, in 2020 and 2021, parents had to take care of their kids. They had to stay at home. They had to learn how to teach their kids, how to communicate. You know, Parents were so used to like, oh, let the teachers, and the after school programs take care of the kids. They come home, they don't even eat at the table. Now everybody, I remember that's the thing I miss. Even now we still don't do it. Even with my wife, but I think we're gonna get, you know
right now I work so many hours. My wife, she, but I think, maybe when I retire or partially retire completely, maybe, we got to go back to that, eating dinner or lunch and breakfast at the dinner table. I remember my mom, we used to all, she used to be in the kitchen, and even my mother-in-law, she never sat down, and she was from that time. But the problem was my father-in-law was more of a machismo, more like, females have to be in the kitchen, doing their duties, forget about them, being at the table. This was, I remember my mom, she used to breakfast, she used to make all kinds of stuff. We didn't just eat, we were a family of four of us. Then my sister was born and we were five of us. And then we also had foster kids, which was three more. So we were a pretty big family, because we had three foster kids and we had my brother and me. And then I think my sister, let me see, my sister came later. We only had, so it was basically five of us, five kids, and my dad and my mom. And I remember my mom, she used to make hash browns, she used to make bacon, sausages, scrambled eggs, or however you wanted your eggs made, even sometimes pancakes, you know. And she would make all the food, and then once all the food was ready, she'd put it in the middle of the table, and then everybody would get, put stuff on their plate, and we all sat down and we all talked. You know, it's sad that we don't do that no more. We need to be family again. Everybody, thank you for coming in. God bless you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is in your place. And as Keys says, call your mama, because you never know when she'll pass away. And those memories will leave. So start making memories, everybody, because the family needs to be family again. We've stopped. Thank you, everybody. Till next time.